Hello, everyone. We are starting 1 minute early just to allow more people to come on. I just want to say thank you for joining. Give everyone a couple minutes before we actually start the main presentation to join. But I'm excited to dive into content and all this wonderful stuff that our guest speaker is going to cover today. Again, I'm giving a couple people some minutes, a couple minutes to join and hop on. But I do, as you're joining, I want to make sure that you guys know how to use the GoToWebinar question box feature. That's going to be basically our main way to chat, for you to ask questions. We're going to ask for your input for some of these questions and or to answer our Q&A at the end. So if you see that, go ahead, feel free to let me know where you're from. Let me know if you've got any questions already ready to go. If you just want to come in and say hi, happy to see all of that as well. I'm calling in from south of Houston, Texas, just so everyone knows. You're, again, more than welcome to share where you all are calling in from. And we're going to continue to give everyone another minute or so to join in. But I'm really excited. I think this webinar is a great opportunity for all of us to kind of come in from all over the nation to come for a single point, which is to learn all about this how to attract talent on TikTok and other social video channels. And I'm excited to hear about everything that our guest speaker has to say. So yeah, we've got some Floridians, is that how you say that? Floridians, some people from Florida. We've got Indianapolis. I see New Hampshire. We've got some good ones. So just going to give us about 30 more seconds and then we can get going. Again, for everyone just joining, please, I want to make sure that you know how to use the GoToWebinar question box feature. It's going to be essential today. It's going to be your way to ask questions to our panel, our guest speaker, give any thoughts, share anything that you'd like. So please feel free to type in an answer, let me know, or a question, let me know where you're calling in from, or again, if you've got any initial questions before we get started, please use that question box feature, that chat feature, to let us know. Okay, and with that said, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get started on our webinar. So just a few housekeeping items just to remind everybody, this is being recorded. You do not have to worry about taking notes, although you're more than welcome to. We will make sure that the recording is sent to everyone who has registered for this webinar, along with all of the slides as well. Also, I mentioned it before, please stick around for the Q&A at the end of the webinar. That's going to be crucial. That's why I'm asking for you guys to go ahead and warm up that chat box. We're going to answer all of your questions that you have. And in those Q&As, they really do get very unique in regards to, it feels like a one-on-one. You're able to ask a question, it gets answered, and you get to hear all about it. So make sure you stick around for that. Real quick peek at our agenda. We're just going to go over a couple introductions, the company that I am here with, our guest speaker, and then she's going to take you through all the ins and outs of this live video and recruitment marketing strategy that she's got for us. So we'll cover some main takeaways after that, and we'll get to the poll question and the most important Q&A. So with that, quickly, I am your host today. I just want to, again, thank you guys for joining. My name is Anna. I work closely with the Recruitment Marketing Solutions team under the B2B Marketing Department at Local IQ and USA Today Network. For the last 15 years, I've worked in strategic marketing and advertising, multiple industries, all the way from media and publications and to hospitality and everything in between. My main focus is I'm increasing revenue, I'm growing lead gen, retention, elevating brands to be trusted icons, and I love everything marketing, so I'm so excited to hear every single thing that our guest speaker has to cover today. Another fun unrelated fact just for you guys to get to know me is I'm also a private chef. So, you know, balance. I've got it all on both ends of the spectrum. And so again, I'm calling in from Texas, and we did just get slammed by Hurricane Beryl, which was a lot of fun, but everything is good and going now. So I hope anyone calling in from the Texas area did not get hit too much by that. Also, real quick, just joining us today, we have two of our special recruitment marketing solutions team members, Ashley Judd and Anna Brecka, and they're just going to be listening in. They're also going to be here to answer any additional questions that might come up during the webinar. So real quick, I mentioned that I am with Local IQ and USA Today Network. So I know we are here to talk about live video and TikTok, which is why I just have to call out, with all these tactics in mind, our recruitment marketing solutions combines Local IQ's advanced technology, cutting edge data analytics, and USA Today Network's timeless traditional solutions and national reach to provide a complete end-to-end range of recruitment-specific marketing solutions that help your organization in all of its hiring needs. As you're learning from our guest host today, know that we've got all the tools that you need that can help implement what you're going to learn and elevate your recruitment strategy. Our goal is to help you build your presence by using our technology to engage with potential candidates at every opportunity. We want to help you drive awareness of your jobs and your company and hook candidates' interests with smart recruitment marketing campaigns. With effective content marketing, we can help you grow and connect with your prospective candidates even before the first interview. So all of this, and we also deliver very effective results across the multiple digital channels with efforts that are built around your unique recruitment goals. So again, remember all of this as we're listening through on some of these strategies that we can implement based on what our guest speaker has to say. Okay, lastly, we're really proud that we're premier partners with all major advertising platforms. Being a premier partner, it's not just something that's granted to every marketing platform or company out there. It's really only given to these businesses that display clear campaign success for their customers. They display thought leadership within the field, and then they also meet rigorous set of requirements for each platform. So we're very, very proud of that. And we are so excited to be partnering with our guest host today. But before I introduce her, again, just want to get a really quick feel of where everyone is at with the integration of TikTok or other video content. So please, in the chat box, in that question box, go ahead. Have you ever used TikTok or social media videos in your recruitment strategy? I want to know, our listeners in our panel want to know, is that something you're comfortable with? Have you used this in the past and to help with your recruitment strategy? Let us know. Okay, and with that, this is the moment that you've actually been waiting for. Let me introduce you to our expert guest speaker, Jessica Miller Merrill. Jessica is the founder of Workology, a workplace resource for HR, recruiting professionals, and business leaders. And she's also host of the Workology podcast. Because of her industry expertise and knowledge, Jessica's opinions and expertise are sought after and sourced by numerous publications and media, including The Economist, Forbes, CIO Magazine, CBS Entrepreneur Magazine, and SHRM's HR Magazine. So she's pretty impressive, you guys. Her most recent book, Digitizing Talent: Creative Strategies for the Digital Recruiting Age, was published in 2023 by the Society for Human Resources Management, SHRM, and one you really should go get your hands on to keep furthering your learning of everything that she's going to cover today and more. So with that said, enough of me. Jessica, please take it away.
Hello, hello. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat for me and just let me know that we're together, we're connected. I'm really excited to be chatting today. I'm coming in from Austin, Texas, but I saw in the question section that Marty is calling in or dialing in from Topeka, Kansas, and that's where home base is for me. So I am born and raised from Topeka. So I'm excited to be here, excited to talk about video and TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Anything that offers video is a real opportunity for us. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide. And I feel like we kind of covered all this, so let's just move on to the next. we talked a little bit about video in the beginning, and you completed the poll question, and I want to just say thank you for doing that, and thank you for being curious. For being curious, as this is a new frontier, but I definitely think it's one that you are going to find a lot of opportunity, because there isn't a lot of competition in the space, and the barrier in terms of creativity or engagement is really low, because there's not a lot of other companies that are effectively using video. Although we are going to talk about some case studies here today to really get your creative juices flowing. So when it comes to digital recruiting, video job postings are one of the most underutilized ways to engage job seekers, which is what we're going to be talking about today. There is so much focus on video. In fact, millennials spend an average of 205 minutes a day consuming video content, and that is from TikTok, YouTube, and Netflix. So a lot of researchers consider TikTok and YouTube to be a form of video content consumption similar to Netflix. So with the focus so much on social networking sites and video, it really is a cost-effective way to reach targeted candidates who are taking, and you can take advantage of the algorithm or targeted advertising to reduce costs, increase just relationships and trust through the power of video. Let's move over to the next slide too. So here's a short agenda of the things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the benefits of video. We're going to talk about some social channels that you can use. I want to talk about how to create a video job post, but I also want you to think about the types of content or resources that your ideal candidate persona might like, so that we can create a video that resonates with them. And then we're going to talk about measuring engagement and how to increase visibility. What does that look like? Because not all videos are created equal, but the goal isn't necessarily to go viral. So I want you to think about this, and you're going to have to talk to your executive team and maybe your head of TA about this. The goal is not to go viral necessarily. When you go viral, you reach millions of people, but it's not necessarily the target algorithm of the people that you want always. There is an ugly side to virality. One of the challenges, I'm going to talk about my own personal experience with that as well. So some benefits to video are really the opportunity to engage candidates in real time. One of the things that I love about questions or comments on these video platforms, it is an opportunity for you to have access to a live focus group. So they are telling you through comments and conversation and this engagement what they want to know. Just like in the chat right now, you're telling me any questions that you might have, or in the questions section. This is an opportunity for you to live focus group and pull the kind of resources and information and things that your candidate persona, your ideal candidate community might be wondering about your organization or the job itself, so that you can create resources and assets or make updates to existing ones, such as maybe your written job posting that you have out there on job boards, to help really explain the job in a way that feels like it is catered exactly to that ideal candidate that you want. Because what I want as someone who is a candidate that is kind of considered in the Gen X millennial, older millennial stage might be different than what a younger millennial or even a Gen Z might be needing in terms of the types of information about what is appealing to them for that job opening. Video on social media really allows recruiters an opportunity to engage with us on a personal level. If you haven't spent time scrolling on TikTok or Reels, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, you have a real opportunity to engage people in real time. This builds trust, it builds relationships, which I feel like is something that we really need as recruiters, because we get a lot of bad PR because not everybody understands how the hiring process or the work process works, and what you and I can or can't do, or what we are responsible or not responsible on in the hiring process. So by providing resources and developing a personal connection with them over video, and when I mean personal in terms of representing your brand, although it could be you as an individual recruiter, but that's not required. It just provides them a level of access that they couldn't get before. We're putting a face to a brand or a person or a name versus in an email or even a LinkedIn profile that we don't know who you are. Next slide. I want to talk a little bit about choosing a platform, because while the title of this presentation was all about TikTok and other social platforms, you need to pick the platform that works for you. And this means that you need to think about and ask where your candidates are. And I'm not saying that you have to be on all these different platforms, but there are a lot of opportunities where you can repurpose content different places. So maybe TikTok is not the place for you. That doesn't mean that you can't create short informational job posting videos on Twitter, or now X, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. There is a host of people who are over on Snapchat, Pinterest, LinkedIn, even YouTube Shorts and more. So we're going to talk about some different examples. I tend to lean in on the TikTok side of things, but that doesn't mean that you have to go all in on TikTok. Especially I know that a lot of folks might have different regulations or policies or various things that might keep them from posting on those sites. So digital social media is growing every day. You do have a lot of options. I feel like there might be something new on LinkedIn that's released where we go back to stories or more focus on video in a couple weeks. Who knows? They're kind of all in on the audio and the StreamYard type of situation, but that doesn't mean you can't take advantage of short videos, long form videos, a lot of different kinds of content. YouTube is such a quality place that has been around for such a long time. It's a great way to build content for longevity, less likely to go viral than say Instagram or TikTok. It's sort of a slow burn that takes time. I suggest that all of you start by polling employees or maybe recent hires and asking them where they're spending their time for video. Where are they spending time? Because as I said, 205 minutes a day for millennials on TikTok, YouTube, and Netflix. For the Gen X and Boomer side, still an impressive 136 minutes of time that we're spending on video. So talk to your new hires, talk to people to ask where you should be going, and think through experimentation. Sometimes different platforms are easier because of new changes or algorithm or just the content or topic. It is just really curiosity and a little bit of stick-to-itness that you might have to post many videos over the course of a handful of weeks or more for one to really pop off. But the goal here is not to go viral. It is quality videos through a combination of SEO and content that really resonates with your candidate community. Let's go to our next slide, please. So I said that people are spending a lot of time on these platforms. Right now, TikTok has 1.5 billion monthly active users, all right? And even before we really think about what platform you want to be using, that can come later, but I want you to think first of what is called a candidate persona. So before we go into making the video, I want you to answer a handful of questions for me. So get out your pen and pencil, take some little notes here if you'd like. We have 4 questions when we're developing a candidate persona. Before we even get there, I want you to think about a job posting or a job type that you want to maybe focus this research on, all right? So pick one that is either evergreen for you or tends to be a huge challenge when it comes to quality candidates. Let's start there. So make a commitment or think of one job posting or a type of position that you want to focus on first. We'll write that down. Let's move into our first question for developing the candidate persona for this job type or this candidate type that we want to dive into. Number 1, who are we making this video for? Not just engineers at my company, but is there a specific piece of information? Is there a information about them? Is there a location that they're associated with? Are they city dwellers? Do they live in the suburbs? What kind of information? Who is this video job posting that you're going to be developing going to be for? That's question number 1. 2 is, what will resonate or interest this target candidate persona? Is there information or common questions or resources that you always get asked? This is your opportunity where they always ask you in the interview, do you have any questions? They always ask these things. Or what do we find out after we've made the offer or after they've shown up to work where they had questions that they didn't realize they did? Make a note of a couple of those. So that is your second answer to that second question here. The third question is any skills or requirements that you feel like are important to do this job. So make a list of a couple of those. Engineers, do you have to have specific code base that you need to be experienced with? Is this a remote position? You get the gist. So make a note of a few of those. And then lastly, our fourth question are there any likes or dislikes for this person? Meaning, does your candidate persona like Dungeons and Dragons? Okay, do they have interest in Game of Thrones? These are important things when we look at some of the examples that we are in just a minute. So get outside of the box in your thinking here about hobbies, activities outside of work. Maybe I want to take Anna's example. She's also a personal chef. So maybe I'm looking for marketing managers that also have creative interests outside of work that are chefs and like to cook. Maybe that might be some videos or ideas that I explore. So this is going to help us stand out from that sea of sameness that we see. And this is a huge opportunity in the area of video job postings. So from here, we're going to take a look at possible topics, subjects, and examples of videos that I want you to think about. Next slide for us. So my advice before we get into some examples for you is I want you to not overthink this. Not every video is going to be a winner. You want to have fun. Sometimes people have to look at many videos before they decide to make what is a buying decision, which is applying for that job. Or you might not have a video pop off to reach the right audience 6 months or a year from now. I have videos on TikTok that are 2 years old that consistently get views and engagement from the right target audience that are organic. That is the magic of video, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. But I will say that this is a free focus group that allows you access and information to interact with people about the job. So you will continue to refine, but it's an opportunity for you to have access to this audience and create custom content based on their engagement and interaction with you. Let's move on. We're going to go to our first example. It's a short video, and it is one of my favorite examples from Chili Piper. Go ahead and let's play the video. If you can tune in, it's very short. Okay. Easy, simple, pointing at things. This video in particular, now Chili Piper has had many handful of other videos from this, but this particular video resulted in 7,500 applications and 500 applications in a single week. There were 1 million impressions of this video, okay? And they have done many iterations of this. They focus on things like work from home, traveling, being yourself, living authentic. They mix fun, high quality videos with authentic phone camera shot videos like this one you see here, very simple. And Chili Piper has been able to increase not only their following on social media, tripled, but they've also been able to use this to organically reach candidates and get a lot of media and press in a way and access to candidates that we otherwise wouldn't have. This is one of my favorite examples is Chili Piper. And yes, I have all the links to all the video examples that we're going to talk about today, so you can go back, take a look, and show with your team. But Chili Piper took this a step further. They even wrote about it on their blog. And so they talked about how TikTok specifically has helped them in their recruiting and outreach and reaching job seekers. Let's move on to the next example and go ahead. Oh, wait, this is, oh, no, not an example yet. So thinking about this, the example with Chili Piper here, I do want to remind you that you don't have to overcomplicate this. It can be as simple as pointing at things. You don't have to be a dancer. You don't have to do any of that. The most important thing is that you have a phone and something to sit your phone on. I've seen people use tape to tape it to a mirror or on a ceiling fan or something that they're trying to get the shot that they want. So you don't have to have fancy equipment. You don't have to have expensive graphic designers, video editors for that. It can be a short video where you point at 3 things that could be the difference maker for you. What I want you to think about is the kind of content that might be powerful for you. And there's a whole host of them. There's employee testimonials. There's short day in the life videos. some short videos on the role or fun videos of what it's like to work there and showcasing the company. And you can do trending sounds. Yes, you can do dancing, but what you do is limited to something like your time, interest, and imagination. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money to make an impact. What's important is to get out there and try things and experiment. Let's move into our next example, and we'll start with the video here.
Just run through the benefits here. Competitive salary, work remotely, 4-day work weeks, health insurance, home office setup, growth mindset fund of $1,000 a year, minimum vacation, 401k matching, profit sharing, 16 weeks of family leave, retreats, working smarter stipend, free books, no questions asked, sabbaticals. Hey everybody, I'm Tom from Buffer. I'm the Director of Product and the Hiring Manager for the new Growth PM position. It is a really interesting role. We're looking for somebody with some serious data chops to help us make the best of our freemium experience. You don't necessarily need product experience. We're happy to teach that. And the salary range is $103,000 to $170,000 US. It's a lot of fun working at Buffer, so if this sounds exciting, please feel free to apply.
I love it. I love it. See, so simple, and you can use a script or not. You can showcase that it's a family-friendly company. You don't even have to say it. You can showcase that through carrying your kid while you're talking about the job that you're hiring for. I love this video. It's a great one for you to think about. It doesn't take a lot of lifting. It comes from your own website job description, and it's clear and relatable. Let's move on to our next example, and we'll start with this video too.
Benefits here. Competitive salary.
Good morning. Do we still hate our jobs and want to work remote for a decent salary and good benefits? Well, now is your chance. Merit America is hiring. That's not to take the boot camps. We're talking about actually getting a job with Merit America. It's one of the largest hiring blitzes they're going to do this year. We're looking at development manager, Java instructors, Salesforce admin, data engineers, data analysts. All roles are remote, and all of these jobs will show what salary they start at. That's very important when you're looking at companies, that they be very transparent with that part. And the benefits here are dope. 4-day work week, health insurance, 4 months of parental paid leave. We get a bunch of holidays off too. Now, we know that women and people of color are less likely to apply for jobs until they feel 100% accomplished. At Merit America, we believe if you can excel at the job, you should get the job. We are hiring for skills over years of experience or even a college degree. Many of these jobs, you don't need a college degree. You also get an annual personal development stipend for books and workshops or even traditional college classes. So do it now. Take a chance on yourself. Let's level up this year, okay? I'm going to check back later to see who did it.
I also love this video, and I just want to say that this particular video where they showed the background of the posting is developed within TikTok. TikTok has built-in editing software, so they didn't pay anything to have this video developed. They did it inside the app, and it uses a green screen where you take a screenshot of the job posting, the job openings. That's how you have like her floating head in front of it. You can use other programs, including Canva, there's Adamoto. You can edit directly into Instagram or TikTok to be able to create a finished, polished video that you can repurpose. Before you post on a tool like TikTok, there's a download feature. There's a little download arrow. It's a little arrow that's pointing down. Before you post, you're just going to press that button. It'll download the unbranded, no TikTok branding video to your phone to repurpose other places. Now, my personal video editing tool, they also have a free version. I use the paid, is one that's called CapCut. That's C-A-P-C-U-T. Desktop version and also a mobile version. You can edit, add captions, make videos quickly, and do it all right from your phone. The best videos in my experience when it comes to content that's like this is raw and not overproduced, which is hard for the marketing control freak person in me. Like, I want to make a script. I want to have professional lighting. Sometimes the best and most genuine videos are the ones that happen in an instant, that you're inspired. And maybe you haven't showered, maybe you don't have your best lipstick on, that's okay. The goal is to be authentic and transparent and to help reach that audience of those qualified candidates that we want to, that says, hey, this is a vibe, you vibe with me, let's think about openings and opportunities here and go ahead and apply for a job at my company. The best videos in my mind, quick, easy, raw, they look unpolished, and are more authentic. It doesn't have to be a mass production. In fact, I can spend an hour creating a series of videos of just me walking down the road, changing outfits, pointing at things. You can organize your content this way that you can repurpose in different places and spaces. It doesn't have to be a lot, just some meaningful thought into what you want to make. Honestly, some of the best videos I've seen are just people walking down the street and they have their phone in front of them and they're talking about an opportunity, or they're talking about a listing like we saw in Buffer. That video was made with just probably 2 videos, probably in under 2 minutes. Easy peasy, just a little bit of editing on the back end. Let's move on to our next example, which is one of my favorites.
Should I do that babysitting job again this summer? Children chase you through the woods with spears. How much is it to sell your hair? No one in the alleyway will buy your hair. If I delivered with DoorDash, would I get free food? You wouldn't get free food, but you would get free time. I know children with spears. Being in a car is better than being in an office. I can sing sea shanties during work hours. Do not steal their onion rings. Do not steal their onion rings. It's Taco Tuesday, time for Taco Wednesday. Taco Wednesday does not exist. Shut up, you do not exist. My boss is so attractive. You are your own boss. I'm so attractive. Who orders just a Caesar salad? Caesar was stabbed. Just marry Rivers, empowered woman, dash you dare. And I dash food to myself while I am dashing food to someone. It's the circle of DoorDash. It is Taco Friday. I made a shocking amount of money in less than an hour. Time to spend the money on tacos.
Okay, let's remember that it doesn't have to resonate with us because we're not the target audience. And I think that quirky videos like this one really speak to this particular audience that DoorDash is trying to engage. They're looking for independent contractors to be food deliverers and shoppers for them. This works for them. Just remember, and sometimes we have to remind our executive team and leadership that Gen Z or millennials have a different way of thinking and doing and talking and engaging, and that's okay. We don't have to get it for it to be effective. Personally, I often ask my now 15-year-old for tips on videos, trends. What does skibbity mean? It's all right. We have to think about who our target candidate audience is and how we can resonate with them. And sometimes that means being a little quirky, being a little bit unusual, and stepping outside of maybe our comfort zone, because frankly, I'm not the target audience necessarily for DoorDash and for this type of person to come and work at this organization. Hand it over maybe to your younger staff. Help them develop ideas or that target persona audience and seek out them for inspiration and resources or just feedback for these kind of things. If tools like YouTube Shorts, which we're going to talk about a little bit more, TikTok or Reels are confusing, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk to somebody who's more familiar, that is an expert in those areas. And frankly, that's how I got on CapCut, was talking to my 15-year-old about it. And I made my first video of kind of a day in the life where I took her to swim camp a couple summers ago. Through experimentation and asking questions and getting feedback, you can learn a lot very quickly. And these social media platforms and the trends in audio that work change very quickly and very rapidly. So have a couple people in your back pocket that like some of these platforms that you can ask for feedback and insights, because I'm not the end all be all. My experience on the algorithm, what I like on TikTok, is very different than my 15-year-old. It's definitely going to be different for your 27-year-old engineer that likes Dungeons and Dragons. So everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different. Let's move on to our next slide. One of the things that I want to just reinforce again is that it takes time. You're not going to have one video that's going to be amazing. Just like my book had several iterations over the course of several years before it became the book that it is today. I've been speaking about the book for over 10 years in various presentations before it became a book. Your video posting. Your comfortability with the type of content is going to take time, but the only way you're going to get better is if you experiment with that and do lots of testing. Chili Piper's co-founder and co-CEO also said that they experiment a lot and they have had success, right? What they define virality for them is anything more than 100,000 views on a video. They also found that trends tend to happen with audio coinciding, like trending audio. And so they will find a trending audio and then connect it to, with them, what's very powerful is the remote work and diversity. Chili Piper has 50% of female managers as members of their executive team, which really resonates with the audience on TikTok in particular. That will be different for each person and each platform, because the audience and the demographics on the platforms are all very different. I do want to talk quickly just about virality, and it is good, but it also kind of has a negative side. I want you to be aware that, again, the plan and the idea is not necessarily always to go viral. If we have 600 of the ideal people looking at our video and we have a conversion rate of maybe 5, that is fantastic. For every 125 videos, we have 1 candidate applying for a role. Those are good numbers. You're not going to get those anywhere else. I had a video earlier this year that was actually a video that I made on TikTok. It's a meme that was made into a short video that was meant to make fun of the hiring process from a recruiter's perspective. I was talking about how sometimes when you offer a candidate and then they don't show up or they cancel 2 days before orientation starts, and how I felt as a recruiter, which was funny, and I think maybe got like 1,500 views on TikTok. I posted it, I cross-posted it over on my Instagram account, and it now has almost 1 million views. What's interesting is that the message for the audience on Instagram got lost compared to the audience on TikTok. And so this video with over 935,000 views, almost 1 million views, reached an audience of job seekers in the algorithm. So they sent it to the job seeker algorithm instead of the recruiter sort of HR space. And the amount of misunderstanding comments and conversations about how they felt about me or recruiters in general created a viral sensation for the video. It's okay to not respond to comments. It's okay to block comments. It's okay to delete the video if it isn't doing the things that you're doing. I simply responded for a little bit, watched it go viral, realized that it wasn't necessarily the audience that I wanted to resonate with me, and so I quit engaging on the video. It's still there, but it isn't getting the visibility that it was when it first started. So the goal isn't necessarily always to go viral. The goal is to reach your target candidate audience and increase in conversions with qualified job seekers. Let's go to the next slide. It might sound simple, but engaging comments, I feel like, is a missed opportunity for a lot of people on social media, particularly with the power of video. Engaging with comments can help improve your video's overall effectiveness. It can drive engagement in relationships and build that rapport with those job seekers. It shows that you care and are interested in providing them value. It feels very personal when you respond to a video on one of these social platforms. What I love to do the most, if you're able, is to respond directly with a video. TikTok and Instagram love this. So responding to a comment with a video response not only creates more content, helps you in the SEO game of the video platforms, but it also built that relationship with that community of ideal candidates that you are wanting to build relationship and have apply at your openings. It takes a while to grow your audience on these platforms. Again, the goal isn't necessarily for things to go viral, for you to have thousands of followers. The goal is to have a small core group of people that you're resonating with. People will choose to follow, but many people just want to see your video in the algorithm, in the feed on their For You page that comes up, and it will lead to an action, which is going to be an application or interest. Some people will do that even, they'll apply and they won't ever follow you as a follower. So I think it's important first to define what viral means to you, with your executive team and leadership team. And then if you're able to use tracking codes and links so you can measure how a video does. Maybe creating specific job postings that are just attached to videos, right? Or landing pages that say, learn more if you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan about our engineering jobs. Things like that will be able to help you understand the impact of a video and the benefits, the type of quality candidates that these things are bringing in, because oftentimes we don't necessarily think of the impact. We just say we're doing a lot of videos, we're posting a lot of jobs, but where are these quality candidates coming from? What's the retention and turnover rate from these sources of people that we attract? So things for you to think about as you're building out your video engagement strategy as it relates to your job postings. Let's move to our next slide here. I've talked a little bit about YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and Facebook. These are all platforms, even Snapchat, that you can engage on. One of my favorite ones happens to be YouTube. And I think a lot of us in recruiting or in the career side of the house have a YouTube channel that is old, that has content on it, but we haven't necessarily leveraged it in a new and interesting way. You can take existing content from your other channels and cross-post that content over on what is called YouTube Shorts. These are short videos that are going to be under a minute in length. On TikTok, you can post videos that are up to 10 minutes long. I think they're allowing for they're testing hour-long videos right now. They're moving towards being in a YouTube competitor on TikTok side of the house. But you can post your YouTube Shorts, cross-post if it's under a minute, over on YouTube, and it's going to notify people in your audience. It's another way to reach organic subscribers, engage with your existing followers, and talk about opportunities. I would also look at cross-posting on Instagram. You can post reels on Instagram and then even cross-post Instagram reels directly to Facebook. So you only post once over on Instagram, it goes directly to your careers page over on Facebook. Another thing that I would encourage you to do to try to get more longevity out of videos is to consider encouraging others on the recruiting team, or if you have an ambassador program, to share the videos, engage with the videos, leave comments with the videos. The first hour on TikTok in particular and Instagram are really critical. So making sure that on these platforms that you're commenting, you're responding to messages, you are maybe hearting all the comments within that short period, because TikTok in particular will test out the algorithm about the response to your video for the first hour. So you'll see a bump. Maybe you'll just see it go 700 views in an hour. Then it decides where to categorize that video based on the engagement level, and then if it should push it even more. So engagement in that first period of time is really important to try to push your video to the correct audience. A lot of people, and myself included, have encouraged the use of hashtags on platforms as well. I will tell you that I have been experimenting on TikTok in particular with not adding hashtags. If you have content that has text on the screen and has audio where somebody is explaining something, the TikTok algorithm in their AI is doing a much better job with matching what you're talking about directly to a category, so it will serve it up to the right audience. There are many influencers that are sharing on TikTok that using hashtags is actually suppressing their videos. So I'd encourage you to be curious, try some different experimentation, and just understand and know that this takes time and that things can change really rapidly. But reposting or posting on other platforms is something I would definitely recommend. I would just encourage you to understand where your audience is first. Where are they spending their time? Where do you want to focus your engagement? Be consistent and build your audience and respond quickly. That's really the key to video posting. Let's move to paid ads here. This is a huge opportunity and one that I really like because ads are low cost on a lot of these platforms. So while you might be spending hundreds of dollars for a single posting to highlight jobs on LinkedIn, there are different ways to leverage Instagram, even YouTube, Facebook, and also TikTok to reach your audience for pennies. for pennies. You just have to be really focused on driving those conversions. So I'd encourage you to work with an agency like Local IQ or an expert to be able to help you manage these things. But it is a great way to lower your cost per acquisition of your candidate and reach a new and interesting audience. The most important thing is to have in place is to be able to measure the response and what you're getting. What is the ROI from a post like this? It's not simply just about making a video reach a larger audience. It's about identifying in that candidate persona the type of person, the age range, if you have that available, or the education or the location, whatever those are, and then organize your posting to reach that. I would encourage you to really think through that and then experiment and get creative. Get creative from a sense of those secondary activities. Because if you can make a really funny video about Game of Thrones and send it out to the audience that is maybe your ideal candidate persona, it's going to rise above, and you can use that opportunity to build that employer brand, reach the candidate audience, and do that in a way that could lower your overall cost per acquisition of the candidate. So ads are a lot of fun. I think that they take time. You need to have patience, but you need to have your metrics and numbers lined up so that you can measure the success and be able to communicate what that means. I would encourage you to get with your marketing team, because if they are already doing these things, you can learn a lot from how they're using paid ads, what is working for them, and then what they're doing to measure. Those kind of relationships, I think, are really valuable to ensure the success of a campaign like using ads on video job postings. Let's move to the next slide and see if y'all have questions. I know that was rapid fire. This is one of my favorite presentations to do. I'm going to hand it over to the team and let's see what kind of questions you have for me. I'm ready.
All right. So I have received a lot in the questions box. So who's ready, Jessica? Because I am. One of the questions that was really excellent is there any stats or data on recommended video links so that the information is retained?
So that number, I feel like, changes all the time. And you will be able to, on the platform that you're in, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, be able to see the engagement level. So I would encourage you to experiment to see what resonates with people. Sometimes it's a 7-second video with a trending audio and a call to action. Sometimes it's a 1.5-minute video. I like to have various videos. We talked about the different type of video types. I talked about a day in the life video, like a Q&A type style, maybe a trending audio. You will experiment, but I would encourage you to have some variety. Sometimes the longer videos don't get as many views, but they are reaching the right community of people because they're filled with powerful information that is going to help answer that question that they're going to have hopefully before they apply for the job. Because what we want to do is we want to encourage the right people to apply for the job, and for those who aren't the right fit for us because of whatever reason, they get that information and then they decide not to apply. That action and activity is just as powerful. So I would encourage you to experiment. Short videos, I really like 7 to 14 seconds. You can use some trending audio, text on screen. The longer form video, I like it at least a minute long if you're going to use TikTok. If you're using YouTube Shorts and Instagram and Facebook, YouTube Shorts, they will have it be under a minute is kind of the cutoff there. Anything over a minute will go onto your regular YouTube channel as a longer video right now.
Definitely. Thanks for that. Also, I have a few more questions, but I did just want to plug to the group real quick. There is a poll that will pop up on your screen. Essentially, it's our way of saying, hey, we're here and we're happy to help you identify what makes the most sense for you and your business. So if you would like some of our personalized recommendations, we're super happy to work with you. Just click yes, I'm ready. If not, just click no thanks. And we appreciate it so much. So Jessica, another question that came up, which is a great one, is how should companies handle negative feedback or comments in their recruitment videos? Typically, like, how would you respond to that, if at all?
So I would encourage you to think about what your plan is going to be before it happens. Just like I would also encourage you on review sites like Glassdoor and other places that you have a plan and a strategy in place where you can respond if you choose. You can also delete those comments and block those people. You are within your power and right to do those things, but sometimes I've found that as you build those relationships, people will come to your rescue, or they'll answer the question for you, that community that you've cultivated. Sometimes it's also a learning opportunity. If somebody says, you know, I haven't heard back in 3 weeks and I applied for this role, that's an opportunity for you to reach out and also take a look at your existing communication strategy. But you choose how you want to respond and what you want to say. It's your comfort level. If the videos and the comments get out of hand, just delete or stop. The algorithm will normally correct itself and that video will no longer be seen to the community. I'll give you an example. 3 weeks ago, I started a new TikTok just for yoga for human resources. In my fun time, I like to do yoga, and earlier this year, I finished my yoga teacher training. So I made some videos and I posted them on a new channel. I got a lot of angry comments from job seekers who were mad about HR and mad about recruiting. And I could choose, because I'm in control, to respond to those messages, or I could delete them or block or just not respond at all. It was a new algorithm. They were trying to figure out where my videos went. They put me in the career section, which was angry job seekers. I got a lot of angry comments in the beginning. I chose to respond to those, and hopefully I educated some job seekers about HR's role in the hiring and recruitment process. But the algorithm corrected itself and my videos are more in line with the right community now. So it just takes time. Don't stop posting, but you're in control of who sees your videos and how you respond.
Great. So we have a question about hashtags. So when using hashtags, can you elaborate a little bit more on how they help get you more views with your video? We'd love to discuss the hashtag help.
I love that. So I'm going to date myself a little bit, but who remembers the library? Okay. Do you remember the Dewey Decimal System and where everything's organized in the library? And then like you have the nonfiction in one section, you have the romance in the other, we have our periodicals over in the corner. Hashtags are essentially the Dewey Decimal System of the internet, of social media. So it's a pound sign or a number sign followed by a series of text that's going to organize that information, because sometimes the algorithm, these social media platforms, don't do a good job of placing things in places. And frankly, there's a lot of sub communities that are really fun, in particular on TikTok and Instagram, that exist that you can search out and find. For example, one of my favorite communities on TikTok is called HR Talk. It's HRTOK, and it's all where all the HR people go to post videos, they respond to each other, they connect. You will be able to find on these platforms using hashtags because they will search for them, but you can also find people and places. A lot of them will be event related. So if you are at an event for recruiting, or you're at a conference and you're looking for candidates, South by Southwest is always a good one for me. Most people have secondary hashtags at South by, so those videos are going to get served up to those people. And also make sure that you include your location when you're posting your videos, because those videos will show up to people in close proximity. So if you're going to be maybe at a career fair, post some videos 2 or 3 days before that are in that location about job opportunities and information about your company. Tag that location or in that general area. So give it a couple days, and then when you come to the location, over the course of time for the algorithm to do its work, they're going to see those videos, those people who have interests of what you're looking for that you want to connect with. But the hashtag is really the organization system of social media and the internet. I'm not hearing anything. Is anyone hearing anything here?
Yeah. Lauren, are you there? Okay, she might be having some technical difficulties. That's okay. I've got some more questions, so no big deal. We can loop right in. Okay, do you recommend a business or a personal account? While a business account gives you the link in bio option, you do lose out on a lot of the trending sounds. Thoughts?
So we're talking about TikTok is what this person is referencing. You have an option to set up a business account or a personal account. The nice thing about the business account is that running ads is much easier and you're in compliance with the trending audio. So copyright infringement with video and trending audio and all those things, by having a business account, it's going to limit your risk and keep you more in compliance with those kind of things. It also allows you to run ads. But if you're just an individual who is just posting over there for fun, or you're a hiring manager doing that, there's nothing wrong with having a regular video personal account over on TikTok. But I would encourage you, if you're going to have a careers page or you're posting like a recruitment employer branding TikTok account, you probably want to move over to a business account, especially for the ads and analytics side. It's just so much more robust.
Awesome. Okay, as we approach the election, should companies and or advertisers be concerned with political clutter on social media platforms?
I think that's just part of the democracy and the democratic process, right? Like the presidential candidates and those who are running for election are going to use ads and do those things. I think if you keep it focused on those content pillars and those ideas, those topics that we have, and keep them neutral, focused on politics, you're going to be fine. But I would encourage you to identify the key areas in that candidate persona activity that we did. You can do the same thing with your executive team and leadership team to identify those things, and then think about the things that you want to post about, but kind of keep it in like a safe realm and space. You definitely don't want to post something that can position you in a negative light that can be picked up by the media and the press in that way.
Sure. Okay, I don't think we've covered this. Any stats or data on recommended video links so that information is retained?
I did talk a little bit about like length of video. It kind of depends on the platform because you're limited to under a minute. It's a minute or less with Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts videos. Anything over a minute on YouTube will go on your regular video channel. Sometimes the formatting is a little bit off because typically on regular social media platforms, it'll be an up and down video that you'll have, and you'll have horizontal on your YouTube channel normally. So it might require a little bit of editing if you're cross-posting or repurposing that content. As far as social media, TikTok and like Reels lengths, sometimes 7 to 14 seconds can be enough. You just want to have a nice hook or call to action. Anything over a minute is going to go over on that longer YouTube or on your TikTok, but sometimes it's a great way because if people are engaging for that long and they're doing it time and time again, that means they're really invested. I like to use the longer videos over on TikTok is like informational resources. So it might be a list of frequently asked questions that candidates always ask you. You can make, if you have 15 of those, you have 15 different videos. We can talk about your 401k plan. You could ask about scheduling. What is orientation like? All those questions that they have, you could make a series. And then those videos will pop up for people looking for those kind of questions or when they start to follow you and are involved in the employment process.
Awesome. Okay, this says, we have been using TikTok minimally to see if it's a good fit for us. And something that we've been seeing is that people will click our link in bio, but we don't know if they apply. How do you know how many of your applicants are applying solely as a result of TikTok versus seeing the job on Indeed or other platforms? Is it anecdotal or do you use some other tool to help measure that?
Well, you will want to use cookies to try to cookie the specific job posting. So what I would encourage you to do, number one, is don't just post a generic careers post. Maybe spotlight one posting and only that job posting is available on that platform. So TikTok per se. So it's unique to that posting. And then you can look at the engagement. If you're not using Google Analytics and have an understanding of Google Tag Manager and all these different things, or maybe the capabilities on your ATS aren't there, or your career site, I would encourage you to create a separate job posting that's just for TikTok. Now, this is assuming that we're in compliance with all the things with EEO and OFCCP, okay? Or you could also direct them to a landing page where they could express their interest for a role, focus on like the DEI side of things. Maybe it's like a women in technology page where they can learn more. You can track the traffic and then the engagement over there. The other thing I would encourage you to experiment with is there's these different kind of link hosting platforms that are normally free or low cost that you can feature different kind of your preferred links, because you're going to be posting about many different opportunities or many different pieces of resources. The tool that I use is called Linktree. It's free. I pay for the free version. The advanced version has more analytics, but it's linktree.com. If you want to see how it can be used, you can go to my Instagram, my TikTok, it's Workology blog, and you can click on my link and you can see that I have highlighted many different links. So you could put your hot jobs, or you could direct them to a DEI program or a series of videos that you have over on your YouTube, but you will be able to see the amount of engagement and then hopefully conversions from that specific posting that's only available on your Linktree.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. That was a wonderful presentation. Great educational content. I mean, I'm sitting here taking notes myself. I thought that was great. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending. Just a reminder, you will get the recording of the webinar as well as the slides from all of this. Jessica mentioned she's got links to all of the videos and everything that you need. So you will be hearing from us, and we really appreciate everyone tuning in. And Jessica, thank you so much for the wonderful information. We appreciate it.
Of course, thank you everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. We're here to support you.
Awesome. Bye.